And welcome inside the Backstage Pass TGIF. Thank God it is Friday and, of course, the weekend here. And for some of us, the extended weekend, as I guess some people could be off from their day jobs on Monday, such as myself. And looking forward to that too. And, of course, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and our friends at Honky Tonk, Texas. So, drinking and dancing, we love to do here on the show and going out to concerts. That's why our sponsors love us here on the Backstage Pass. You can also catch us powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com and out there at hightidecountry.net internet radio. Pleased to be joined today as the new album hit today. I love it when the album drops on a Friday and I get one of my best friends in the music industry to join me to talk about this and then some. It's called Before. The EP is out there across all the digital platforms. Mira Goto back here on the show. What is going on?
Hey, thanks so much for having me back. It's really good to see your cute face.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, good to see you too as well. And I tell you what, we were talking a little before the show, kind of catching up a little bit. And this 2.5-year-old is bringing out the best in you. Tell me about what it's like now being a mom.
It's a little bit of everything. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. It's sticky. It's like really sticky.
It's sticky.
And I have a 2.5-year-old boy, so I have a lot of bruises.
Oh.
He's a jumper. He's just a wild one.
They're a climber,
Jump,
no
mama?
doubt.
Jump, mama?
Jump. The words are coming in. You were talking about before the show, a little bit of vocabulary is getting more and more interesting, right?
Yeah, he's a chatterbox. I stepped in something gross the other day and I said, "Oh, sick." And now he goes, "Oh, sick." It's like so entertaining. Now I gotta watch my mouth,
They're like,
more
yes,
creepy.
they're like little parrots. Mine was like the other day. What did I say? Something funny or something? I dropped it, or I forget what I was doing. But the word "damn it" came out, and then behind my back, "damn it," and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, oh,
Oh, there's a fun new word, especially
uh-huh.
like with the way that we say it when we curse. It's like they cling on to it because it's so emphatic.
Or like I know my wife was given the medicine one time for the antibiotic for one of the ear infections or something, and she put the little plunger in, pulled up on it or something, and I don't know, the medicine didn't get in the mouth, or a little bit did here or there, or she didn't measure the right way, and shit came out, and she
Yeah.
shit, and then there goes that word. You're like, man, it's just right in front of me. It's just they pick up so much now on
Yeah.
vocabulary.
I work so hard too to like not do it, or like if I know he's paying attention, or if I know he's not paying attention, it doesn't matter as much. But
Yeah,
oh man, sometimes it's
yeah.
just what are you gonna do?
That's another thing right now too, is when something that she doesn't get her way, or it's I don't know, just anything that doesn't go her way. It could be anything, a topic we're talking about too as well, or something she don't like what you said. Mine is now for 3.5 next week. She'll, oh man, she just that's what she does
They're
now.
like
It's
little grown-ups. It's so
yes,
funny sometimes.
they're
Yeah.
just,
He
I
he
guess they,
he goes, his favorite right now is bless you when we sneeze, but or even if it sounds like a sneeze,
hmm
bless you, dada. And if we don't say thank you, bless you, dada, bless you, dada. They just he has to get a thank you back.
yeah, they're
The aggressive politeness.
they bring out the best in us, I guess, what they say when it comes to being a parent. And these are the fun ages, the 2 to 2.5 to 3 to 4. This is the fun ages, and of course, like you said, when you get 8 to 9, they know too much and they get to be smart
Yeah.
alecks. But now's the pretty cool age. Well, let's talk about this, and I know we'll get back to the kid talking in a little bit. But they dropped today the new EP, which is fantastic. Got some great production, 5 great songs on there too, called Before. Derek Garton, I know the song features him, Enough to Try. Talk about this, the body of work, and getting this music out to the fans. You have to be very happy about this record.
I'm very happy about this record. Thank you. It's been a long time coming. I've wanted to put music out for a while, but I was sort of, under contract, and then I was engaged in a new company, but then we didn't end up working together. And so I I had to wait sort of to be able to figure out if I was going to work with a partner on putting out new music, or if I was going to do it alone. And I'm doing it alone, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
thrilled because I could kind of do it exactly the way I wanted. So this album, this project, it sounds, it looks, it feels, it's everything is
Mm-hmm.
sort of designed and controlled by me, which I'm very prideful about. And I've written a ton of songs since my last project came out because there's lead time, so you record your project, but you're still writing while you're
Mm-hmm.
prepping to put it out. So even though my album came out in 2020, I mean, we were done picking the songs for it, like at least a
Hmm.
year before then. So since 2019, it's 2023 now. So I've been writing a ton. Obviously, we had the pandemic, so that was all we were doing during the
Hmm.
pandemic as well. And these songs, this little handful, is a collection of songs that I think sort of illustrate where I'm at in my life right now. I've got a song about my son on there becoming a
Hmm.
mom and what that means to me, and just these are songs that I've written that, like, if another artist wanted to record them, that would be amazing, but this is my interpretation of these songs that I wrote that are so special to me and so personal that I really wanted them to come out in the way that I heard them when I wrote them.
Hmm. Talk about Derek Garton. Of course, I know I mentioned the first song, "Enough to Try," which is it really brings out vocals, and I mentioned instrumentation, which you guys did in the studio with that track, and of course how you guys work so well together through collaboration on this record. Derek, fantastic person, and that song really brought out and really told a very very good story.
Derek's an incredible friend and producer, actually. He produced the
Hmm.
whole project, and we started writing together after we kind of got to know each other a little bit. And um, that was actually the first song that we wrote together. So we've written a ton together since
Hmm.
then. Excuse me, I have to let
The
the
visitor there.
Satan out of the office. Here we go.
The visitor there is not
I
happy.
thought she was just gonna have a quiet little nap, but cats always have other plans.
They do. They do. 9 lives too, right? Nine
Ugh,
lives for cats.
this one's got 109. So yeah, so Derek and I wrote that song together, and it just kind of fell out of us one day. And he's so talented, and he really I couldn't put into words how I wanted my project to sound,
Hmm.
but I put it into something, and I said, this is sort of what I want, but I don't want it to be that, but I would like it to be a little this, but not too much of that. And
Hmm.
he was like, "Great, I got you, no problem." And he oh man, he put so much life into these songs. They grew legs and walked across the
Hmm.
room. So it was really, really fun to work with him. He's so easy to work with.
Tell me about the title track. Of course, everybody wants that one song to kind of be that just that attention grabber for the title track, so fans go, "Yep, I know that song," but I know that song that leads off the record, and it's just there. There's that song before, and I'm gonna go check that one out first because that's the title track. Was it easy for this to kind of? You mentioned they grew legs, they kind of walk, but was before kind of like going to be the name of this project?
Before is a song that I wrote by it's the only one I wrote solo. And I
Hmm.
wrote it one weekend. It was very cold and very rainy in Nashville, and
Hmm.
I had gone to a wedding with my husband just for a friend and ran into an ex of mine, and it did not end well, but we were also young and stupid and whatever. And
Hmm.
so he didn't seem like he wanted to chat with me, so I gave him some space, but then we bumped into each other a couple hours into the event. So I finally thought, okay, I'll just go say hi and get it over with.
Hmm.
So I went over and I said hi, and he pretended that he didn't know me.
Wow.
And when I tell you this was like a short romance, it was like a
Hmm.
summer thing. And I think that I still had the word teen in my age. So it was nothing super serious, but it wasn't nothing.
Hmm.
And so I sort of left and allowed him to continue to pretend because that was easier for him. And that was like, I felt like that was the least I could do for
Hmm.
him because I obviously, like, there was still some hurt there. So that's what that song's based off of. It's the story of young love
Hmm.
and young endings and life lessons. And it's good you learn these things when you're young so you don't
No,
really
no
hurt
doubt.
people.
So it can steer you in the right direction to
Yeah.
find that one person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, no doubt. We got to take a quick time out here. A word from our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey. And of course, if you hadn't found out who they are, you will soon. And definitely it's flooding the market out there. The whiskey market is changing. And of course, out there flooding Texas, Live Oak in Nashville. Check them out there too. Play some washers and just enjoy a glass of Bangtail whiskey, relax, and definitely it's the weekend. So check them out at bangtail.com or easyliquor.com if you want to order there. Get it sent to your door. I want the comments. Let me know what you guys taste it, make cocktails, whatever you do, whatever you put in your whiskey. I want to know all about Bangtail all over my socials. So send me your feedback. Also, thanks to our buddy over there, Derek at Honky Tonk Texas out there. Some great summer shows that he just had in and some fall concert series coming up at honkytonktexas.us. More with Mira Goto. We're going to talk about before, and of course, we're going to talk a little bit about the last record, Nobody Warned Me, which was one of the fantastic songs, ended up on one of the big charts out there, and get some more as to what's ahead for Mira as we close 23 and get into 2024. Word from our friends at Bangtail Whiskey coming right back. It is the Backstage Pass, hightidecountry.net, and of course at the Sports Guys podcast.com. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here, Mira Goto on the Backstage Pass. Of course, a Friday TGIF version. Next week, we'll do 3 shows, I believe, coming up next week, and definitely have a good time with that, too. Also, Marie coming up next week. Marie Wise Hawkins is going to come on board next week with us, too. Another fantastic artist. If you've not heard of, you can check her out, too, and stay tuned to the socials out there. Hey, take me back to the first record out there because I loved, we mentioned the charts, Nobody Warned Me, and just what a great song. What a great record this whole thing was. This really started everything. I know for you, this was during a tough time with the pandemic, of course, and releasing music, and people were like, we're not sure where this is going to go, but you actually ended up with some songs here, very successful on country music breakout charts and things like that, and you're just a great songwriter in yourself that I really still today, 3 years later, enjoy listening to this record.
Thank you, first of all. That was a really difficult time for all of us. I'm thankful for my health and that everybody I know and love is still with us after COVID. But COVID ate my progress, my trajectory, my career path, and that was really hard for me. I took it very personally. My first single off that record came out February of 2020, and that was Nobody Warned Me, which did really well on the radio, but I wasn't allowed to go out and support it and sort of meet people. And I got so many nice messages and so many just messages of support and love. And when are you coming out here? Like, I don't know. We're not allowed to tour right now. So, yeah, that was really hard, but I'm just so grateful for people like you who sent me so much love and support and kindness when I wanted to be doing everything I could to promote my record. It was a project I'd worked so hard on, and I just had to sit at home and let it do its thing.
Well, I think now that things are opening back up a lot, I know there's still kind of the latest little kick with COVID. People are kind of battling it too as well, but it's not as we're definitely far along now than we were before. And I think it's pretty cool. Are any plans for you now to get back on the road? And maybe it's already begun and talks now as we close out this year into 24. Are you excited to get back out there and play for the fans?
I have a couple shows, but I am not touring, not at all like I used to. I'm, really liking mom life, and I'm really liking writing, and I'll do shows. I'll do kind of some writers' nights and stuff. But one other thing that a piece of feedback that I got all the time whenever I would do my full band shows, bigger festivals and whatever, people would come up to me and say, "Hey, your show was great, but I really like when you play by yourself. Hey, your show was great, but I missed it when you play acoustically." And it's like, okay, well, I better listen to that. So I play a lot as a solo or duo acoustic setup now, and the demand for those isn't super as high as like the full band stuff. So, but I agree. I tend to feel like my show that I put on is much stronger acoustic. So that's what I do.
Yeah, and I think eventually, like you said, with it all kind of opening up again, requests will start coming into, and I think more things will definitely open up for you. And again, I same thing here. You got to open the ear, listen to what some people have to say, but of course, in the end, you got to do what's best for your brand, your music, and things like that, and the things that really are in the beneficiary for you as an artist. Hey, tell me about this one because I thought it was a kind of a cool story. November 2021, this came out, Marshmallow, and I got to get the idea of this one. I got to listen to it today because I got to go through so many songs in the categories of just all these interviews we put together on the show. But I loved it, and I'm sure you did too. Obviously, that's why you put it out. At the same time, too, where did this one come from? Was this kind of a unique idea? Was this kind of a personal story? What connection with Marshmallow? I want to get all the details.
So I wrote that one with a friend of mine named Fred Wilhelm.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fantastic writer and a wonderful friend, just all around good person. And we were talking about life and how, like you can make it through hard times because hard times are temporary, but like same with the good times. The good times are temporary. And so make sure that you enjoy them while you're in them. I think there's some quote from The Office where he's like, I wish you knew you were in the good old days while you were in them. And it's a little bit bittersweet, but trying to focus more on the sweetness aspect of that is kind of the marshmallow vibe.
I started thinking of s'mores when I first heard that too. I was like, sweetness and s'mores when I heard the song Marshmallow too at the same time. And even before that, I love this one because it talks about how good, just how great life is, or at least trying to be thankful for the good moments in our life. And where I'm going with this was September before that. I think the same year was 2021. Remember this moment. I enjoyed listening to this one, and it talks about, you're right, don't take life for granted, at least what I get from it. And we all have those little things we go through in our life, and let's just try to take it with a grain of salt. But there's always these moments we create, and it's something we're never going to forget. And I really commend you for putting this one out.
Thank you. That one's really special to me. I wrote it, what, 6 years ago now with my friend Raquel Cole, who's just an incredible vocalist, guitar player, and tours a lot. And that one has carried me through many seasons of life and change over the last 6 years. It's the good and the difficult and the complicated. And I find it sort of has evolved in meaning over those years, given the different, whatever season of life I was in. And so, yeah, I hope people find a way to relate to it.
No, and it's one of those songs that, again, you just love. I love listening to it. Sometimes I'll leave it on repeat out there too, and just let it keep going. Like I said, a lot of times and through the singles, and I love this EP. This guys, if you want to check out great music, Before is out there. Came out today, September 22nd. Make sure you go out and give Mira some love there. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back and talk about a few more things here on the program too, and get into a couple other songs. One I loved, I'm going to talk to her about. Tequila Told Me To, which is currently out there too across all the digital platforms. We've all been there. We'll talk to Mira about that here on the Backstage Pass presented by our friends at Bangtail Whiskey and, of course, Honky Tonk Texas. More to come with Mira Goto. It is the Backstage Pass. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here on the show, final segment here of Mira Goto on the Backstage Pass. The new album Before is across all the digital platforms. Make sure you guys go stream it out there. I've been streaming it all day, and like before it came out. So there you go. Before is the title of the track, and I streamed it before it came out at midnight last night. So there's a little conundrum there, but you get through it pretty quick too at the same time. All right, I'll ask you about this female movement in country music. I love this because we all see what Lainey Wilson's doing as we get ready for the CMA Awards. And then you look at on top of that, it's like building your favorite flavors of ice cream. I just can't. I got to have vanilla and chocolate, and I get swirled. I got to have vanilla, chocolate, and some kind of blue something. Just keep stacking on all these scoops on a cone. But this movement now, Carly Pierce, Give me your take, Ashley McBryde. You go on and on with these artists that are just so fantastic. This female country movement. Give me your perspective and kind of thoughts on why this is so good for the industry. I love it.
I love to see it. Love to see it. We can't wait to see more too. Um, man, all these women that you've just named there. I was gonna say, like when you mentioned Lainey Wilson, that girl's a force.
Mm-hmm.
But every single one of them, Carly Pierce, Kelsey Ballerini, Ashley McBryde, all of them. I mean, they're just incredible. I hope to be half as cool as them when I grow up. And what I love about them, and every single one of them, they're telling stories that are so,
Mm-hmm.
and the stories, I mean, they're songs, they're their stories, they're so authentic, and you
Yeah.
believe every single word that comes out of their mouth, and the vulnerability is just so refreshing,
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it so much, and I cannot wait to hear more from every single one of those women.
Yeah, and I'm probably thinking already too. Lainey's going to sweep all those awards that she's nominated for at the CMAs coming up too as well.
Can't
I
wait.
forget whatever the double digits that I saw today. She had listed them out there too, and all the categories were rightfully so well nominated out there. All right, let's talk about it because we've all been there, and I've been meaning to ask you about this. Probably did in future shows, just forgot about it, but it's always good to touch base on it again. I've had the night where something told us to do something, but tequila told me to. Let's
Yeah,
break this one down for the fans that may not have heard this great song out there.
she's not a friend.
She's not a friend.
Yeah, I feel like we all break up with tequila at some
Mm-hmm.
point. Does it happen when you're 19? Does it happen when you're 24? I don't know. But I haven't broken up with tequila yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't I don't drink very often, but when I do, it's tequila. But it's a wild night.
It's well, that's what I'll say. It creates the Wild Night creates a damn good song out of it too as well, no doubt.
I like a good margarita. What can I say?
Was you know what though? I need one of those tonight, especially for the throat, which I gotta go call a football game tonight, hoping the throat holds up. Hey, I tell you, a while back I got a chance. He was on the show. This is probably my second year of doing the program. Mark Broussard, fantastic,
Oh,
fantastic artist, writer,
yeah.
composer, everything he's done out there too. Singer songwriter is probably more of the layman's terms, I should say. But from Louisiana, if I stand
Yes.
correct, if I remember, loves the swamp, loves the blues. He's got this just real kind of raspy, kind of thing going on too. I love his music, and I talked to Mark here on the program back a couple of years ago. We promoted a record and did something. Talk about Next Life because that's where I was going with this collaboration
Yeah.
and how you guys met. And I'll say this: another great, fantastic song and great collaboration. It brings out both vocals very well.
Thank you. Mark and I met through my producer for that record, Ken Calais. He
Mhm.
introduced us. I had brought Ken that song I wrote with Michael Logan and said, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And he said he loved it and he wanted to do it as a duet. And so we asked Mark if he would do it. I've been a fan of Mark's forever.
Mhm.
And Mark's an avid tourer. He's busy. He is out on the road all the time. So if you haven't seen him yet, get your booty in a chair at one of his shows because he puts on a fantastic show.
Mhm.
He's the nicest guy in the world. I went out there. We were able to record everything remotely, which is fun.
Mhm.
And that was pre-pandemic too, which like now everything's remote, but like yeah, and then I went out there and we did a video for it. So that's on the YouTube somewhere.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, he just put out an album. I believe it was SOS 4 Blues for the Soul. And I mentioned that blues type thing. He's got one called I remember the name of it. I've got to use my imagination, which is another one out there too. But it's man, Blues for the Soul, and he is man, he's doing so well. I came out back in March, and I'm meaning to catch up with him too. In fact, I might give him a phone call to do that. Hey, speaking of collaboration, let me ask you about that because I heard a little bit of staying tuned to the music kind of buzz out there. I got an email today, and this was pretty cool that my good friend Marty Raven, and I've interviewed Shenandoah many times here on the program at CRS and, of course, other places out there. They put out a collaboration today with 2 Dozen Roses, and it included Luke Combs. I don't know if you knew about that or had heard. This newer version is really, again, that older version is always going to be the country music classic, but anytime you pull Luke Combs into something too. So, point being, again, you've done this your entire career. You're still doing this. Collaboration and writing become paramount in this industry. We saw it at the CMA Awards, the 50th anniversary of the television show. Vince Gill, Luke Combs. You get just all these cool pairings.
Yeah.
Miranda Lambert. Like, what does that mean to the industry, and how important is that to the industry?
What I really respect about country music, I mean, that list is pretty long, but every single person that you see on stage at these award shows, they are all so incredibly talented. And when you put one and another in a room, you don't know what kind of magic's going to happen, whether it's two songwriters or a songwriter and a producer, or you got two performers who are also songwriters and also co-producing their records. You just let's put you guys on stage, you guys can do a song together, whether it's a new up and coming artist and a legend artist. You just never know. And so I love that these award shows give opportunity for people to collaborate that they might not otherwise have. You never know.
It's brought out the best in some, and of course, in some of the others who already have it, just even more brought out the brighter
Yeah.
side of that. Speaking of bright, I got to go back to this. I love these little just transfers we do. I love it. Bright Eyes on this new record too from before. Just like I love doing it. It just happens that way when we do this. These transitions I'm going for. Bright Eyes, beautiful song, and I can see why you included it on this record. Tell us all about it.
So my baby was 3 months old at the time, and everybody had been asking me, "What are you going to write a song for your new baby? What? I can't wait to hear the song you're going to write." And so I felt all this pressure, my pregnancy, and then when I was a new mom, and I was really sick. I didn't have a good delivery. It was really hard. I was really sick. It's called traumatic delivery, and the baby was fine, but I wasn't in a space to like write a song that showed my appreciation, if you know what I mean. And so finally, I started to recover and feel better, and I was up for writing again. And so I took my first writing trip out to Nashville, and baby was little and not sleeping. But I get to my writing appointment with Greg Barnhill, and we were talking kids because he's got a couple of his own, and his are a bit older, so he was happy to share some words of wisdom on those early baby days. And he goes, "Well, tell me about him." And I said, "Well, I swear, every time I peek over the bassinet, he's awake. That child does not sleep. He's got these eyes they're so dark. We call him Joey Boba. His name's Joey. We call him Joey Boba because his eyes are these like boba eyes, but they're always." And so he's full of life and energy and curiosity, and they're bright, but they're dark. And so we talked about bright eyes and just all the things that you hope for your kid as a parent, and I couldn't wait to watch him grow up. I'm like so excited still. I kiss a lot of boo-boos now, which is one of the lines in the songs, but they're not on his knees. He's so cute. He pretends to bonk his head on the counter. "Oh no!" And he comes over, kisses, and he like wants me. So it's just really fun. And that song I wrote that one for my kiddo, and I feel like parents everywhere can sort of relate to some aspects of it.
No doubt too. Especially, I know one thing she's doing now is putting her hand on my face. Sometimes I wake up in the morning. She's like, "You okay, Daddy? You okay?" Like
Aw.
all that little hand just goes right there, and you see the little five fingers. She's like, "You know what? I just
I
love
know.
my little girl.
Yeah.
What can I say? You just love
Yeah.
your kids, man. Especially when they're just checking on you. Like they don't know the difference, but of course you're just waking up, or it could be any random time during the day, and they see your expression on your face, like, this didn't go well. I can't do it or whatever. Daddy, you okay? You okay? So
We
it's
just started naming emotions. That's our new thing, so that
wow.
if we can name them, we can treat them, right?
Treat
And
them to
so
it. Yeah.
he'll, not get something he wants, and he'll just go, "Sad." Or
Yeah,
he'll
that's
see
true.
another kid that's crying, and he'll go, "Sad."
So,
It's like, "Oh, yeah, leave him
I like
alone."
that. How you put that, naming emotions and how to treat them. I like that too. That's something we got a lot of skills to work on with the next phase of this 3.5 as we get into
It's
full.
it's gonna be like a 20-year project, naming
Yeah,
emotions and how to
yeah.
treat them, but you gotta start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere, no doubt too. Hey, tell me about this fun time. I guess when you get it, and you get a little downtime away from music, and of course, I guess I like to say kid free. My thing is the Friday night game where I get to go broadcast football, but or do this show here. Like so while she's in school, it's kind of getaway time. For you, what's the Mira Goto fun time? Maybe a date night or something like that, or a place to eat or dinner or a good glass of wine. What do you like to do?
We try to do a date night once a
Hmm.
week. We don't always have time for it, but
Hmm.
we try to do that once a week. I like to exercise. I mean, I don't
Okay.
particularly love it, but it makes me feel good, and it makes me feel like I'm taking care of myself, and so I make time for that almost every day.
That's one of the things I'm gonna have to start doing again because it's kids take up so much of your time. But I will say this: fall's coming up, and in my mind, it's already just ingrained. It's like, you know what? These cooler temperatures are around the corner, at least for Texas down here, and I cannot wait to get outside and just do the yard work again. Yeah, I'm saying yard work, but when it's like
Okay.
65 compared to 105, you'll take that exchange.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't like the getting darker earlier thing,
True.
but
Yeah.
I can deal with it. We're into Legos now.
Yes, she
So
is.
we've
Yeah.
got a lot of good indoor projects for when it's dark at 5 o'clock.
I took her to Legoland for the second time this past year
Oh,
out in Arizona. We got her a set of the Legos. I think it was Frozen. One of the big Disney movies, and she put it together. And now mom and her, they're doing the little puzzles, and so the projects are getting bigger and
yeah.
bigger, kind of like the Legos, all the good building blocks. Hey, tell me a good Italian meal. Have you eaten any good Italian food lately?
Oh, you know what we got out here? We got an Italy.
Okay.
And I love that. It's a chain, but it's like everything's imported and it's huge. It's a grocery market and a
Ooh.
restaurant and then like the secondary restaurant and then there's like to-go food. It's 3 stories. It's in the mall. It's like totally incredible and like everything is imported from Italy. So the tomatoes and the mozzarella and prosciutto. And so I am a
Ooh.
sucker for a caprese salad.
And what's
Yeah.
the name of it again? What's the name?
Italy.
Italy. Okay, I'll see. I have to. That's one of the things. Get out to California, get back out there. I'm going to have to try that particular place, and
If you
especially
ever make it out here, absolutely not. We're going to the Giants Stadium. We're gonna
the.
watch a baseball game. We're gonna get garlic fries, and we're gonna get a Ghirardelli hot fudge sundae, and we're gonna heckle the outfielders.
Well, I cannot wait to take you up on that offer because we're going to the Giants game. We're going to have a lot of fun out there too. Hey, do you remember the first song you ever sang live on stage? What was it? And it could be a cover.
The first song I ever did live on stage, oh gosh. Yes, I was 15.
Mhm.
And I had just started playing guitar. I was playing my dad's Dreadnought, which was way too big for me at the time.
Mhm.
Still too big for me now, but it was too big for me at the time. And my sister was a little theater kid. So
Mhm.
she was like, "You gotta play, you gotta learn this song so that I can sing it and we can do the talent show together."
Mhm.
So we did this like unplugged, the MTV Unplugged, my high school
Yeah.
hosted like
Yeah.
an unplugged night. And we did Taking Back Sunday. Cute without the E, cut from the team. And we did that, and I was so
Wow.
scared. I have the worst stage fright, and I feel like I manage it pretty well, but
Mhm.
it's still there, but I treat my stage fright like it's this monster, and I invite it on stage to sit next to me, and we just kinda check in over the course of the show.
Well, I am always so delighted to catch up with you here on the program. I wish you nothing but the best with this EP. It is fantastic music. She's one of the best singer songwriters out there in country music, and this is what we need in this industry today. Before is out there across all the digital platforms. I always appreciate you making time for me here on this program. I know you always have a great time, and definitely I'm taking you up on that offer next baseball season.
Yes.
Get out to San Francisco,
You gotta
and
get
we're
out
gonna.
here. I cannot wait to show you around my stomping grounds, and thank you again so much. You're so easy to talk to, and you're just such a joy, and I love what you're doing for this industry, especially women in the industry, and just thank you so much.
We're going to keep it going and definitely go, guys, go get the album. Make sure you do that. And if you missed today's interview, we'll replay it at hightidecountry.net, our internet station out of Oklahoma. And thank you, guys. We actually had 22,000 listeners just last month on the internet side radio. So thank you
Wow.
so much for that. Appreciate that. And the Josie Music Awards coming up too. We're Josie Music nominated for Media Company of the Year, and definitely going to excited about that. I hope to take home the award October 22nd at the Grand Ole Opry House in Nashville, Tennessee. And it's going to be a lot of fun there too as well. And make sure you guys go download before and check out miragoto.com for more information out there for the shows that pop up. Maybe she's coming to a city near you. We'll see you guys next week. We'll take off Monday, be back on, I think, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Chad Brownlee, a top Canadian artist, is going to join us. And of course, our good friend Marie Wise Hawkins coming here on the Backstage Pass. Until then, have a great weekend. We'll see you soon. Take care.